What's going on, guys? My name is Kevin Griffith and this is the Holler Barbecue. So today we're talking smoked desserts. We're gonna start off with one of my favorites. I'm talking a smoked pecan pie. So sit right there and let's get to cooking. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm gonna show you my all-time favorite dessert. Now, I don't care, Thanksgiving, Christmas, I'm gonna have them on those days, but I'll eat a pecan pie any time of the year. It's just always been my favorite. My granny used to make these for me, and my uncle, they were both our favorites. Everyone loved her, her pecan pie, but it's especially one of my favorites. And she's gone now, so I have to make it myself. It might not be exactly like hers, but you better believe I paid attention when I saw her making these and when I was eating her pie of how it was. Now, one thing I am gonna do a little bit different is I'm not gonna try to reproduce her crust. You can have the recipe, but if you don't have the same cooking utensils, the same oven, stuff's gonna be a little bit different. So I'm just gonna keep it simple for me so that I don't mess her recipe up. I'm just gonna use a regular pie crust. This is just a Pillsbury one. These are great, super cheap. They're only like $2.50 and you get 2 of them in there, so excuse to make 2 pies. And we're gonna do something a little bit different that my granny never did. We're gonna smoke this thing. I know smoked nuts taste pretty good, so I figured smoked pecan pie is gonna be pretty good too. Now I'm pretty sure the crust and all is not gonna take on too much smoke flavor because it's gonna be basically in the pie pan, which is glass. The smoke doesn't get through the glass, so I'm pretty sure that our crust is not gonna have smoke flavor, but the top layer of pecan should have just a nice hint of smoke. We're gonna be using a silverback today to be smoking this pie. And I'm just using a mixture of Lumberjack's char hickory pellets and a few extra regular hickory pellets. And we're gonna be running at around 350 degrees. I actually probably trust the silverback to be more of an accurate temperature as opposed to even my inside oven, because ovens are all over the place. So we're gonna cook this thing outside today, and we'll free up that oven for other side dishes or turkey or whatever you got for Thanksgiving. So I'm just using a 9-inch Pyrex glass pie dish. So like I said, this pie dough comes in a 2-pack. They're just rolled up like this. Just gently unroll it. You don't want to break it. Now it just came straight out of the refrigerator, so it is a little bit stiff, which is fine. You want to really bake with a chilled dough anyway. Now I just flipped it over, and what I'm gonna do is I don't want this thing to stick. Now, if this thing breaks open and some of the pie filling gets down under, we're not gonna have almost any choice but to stick. And that's okay, because it doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna try my best to make it not stick, so I'm just putting a little bit of flour on the bottom of it. This is gonna be the side that's to the glass. This is just to try to help it not stick. Then once we have the bottom side all floured up, we're just gonna basically flip it over. And then just start mashing it into the pan. Now I'm not mashing it super hard, just so that it fills the pan. Most people like to take the edge of their pies and make something fancy out of them. I don't like a ton of crust. So what I do is I just take a small knife, such as a paring knife, and all this excess dough that's hanging off, I just start going around the pie. And just cutting that off. Gives you a nice even consistency all the way around it. All right, so now that our pie crust is ready to go, we just need to make our filling. Now this is a super simple filling recipe. Easy to throw together. I'll be cooking my pies the day of Thanksgiving, right in the morning. So the first thing that we're gonna add is basically 3 eggs. Now I was letting these sit out for about an hour just to come up to room temperature. Then we're gonna add 1 cup of sugar. Then 1 cup of light corn syrup. I like the Cairo brand. And I like to go ahead and mix those 3 together just to get a good solid mix and get those eggs all the way through the sugar. Then we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 2 tablespoons of butter. Just mix those up really good. Then the final thing is our pecans. You need about 6 ounces of pecans. Now I like them finely chopped because that's the way my granny did it. And I actually have her nut chopper that she had a long time ago. This one actually used to be attached to a jar, but that jar is long gone, so actually I have to hold it by hand and use it. But it chops them up really fine, as you can see. Then just take all those pecans and dump them into your mixture and get that all mixed up too. Now, if you don't want your pecans, finely chopped like that, you don't have to. You can just use whole pecans, but what I find is it really holds the pie together and it creates this awesome crust on top of just, I don't know, just pecan crusty goodness. All right, now that our filling's made, let's just go ahead and dump it into the pie. Just dump it all the way in. Now what's gonna happen as this thing sits and cooks, the pecans that are in this mixture are gonna rise up to the top and form that nice crust on it. So like I said, we are gonna be cooking at 350 degrees. This takes roughly an hour. So about the 50 to 55 minute mark, we'll go out there and start checking it. Now, I might probe it because the center should be around 200 degrees, or when you press on the inside, right in the middle, it should kind of be a little bit firm and not, bounce up and down on you. That's when you know that it's basically set up. Now, if the crust actually starts getting too brown for you, we can put aluminum foil around the outside that'll stop the browning. But that's one reason that I like to do the least amount of crust as possible, is I don't really have to worry about that too much. And I don't eat the crust on this edge too much anyway. All right, let's go ahead and get it out there on the silverback. All right guys, so one thing I can tell is I'm a little bit uneven out here. Probably because my silverback is sitting on my patio, which most patios are sloped for drainage. But I can tell that the mixture is mostly going this way, so I'm gonna use just a piece of an aluminum foil to try and elevate it as much as possible, because I want this thing to cook. I want it to look really nice. There we go, that's better. All right, we're gonna get it closed up and I'm gonna set a timer for around 50 minutes. All right guys, so our pie's been cooking for right around 50 minutes now. It's doing pretty good. So let me mash, so you can still see it's kind of jiggly here, which means we're not all the way done yet. And it's not as brown as I like it to be. Let's get a temperature reading too. I found a crack right here. Let's just go down in there and see where it's at. It's right at 200, so it's not that far off. What I'm waiting on now is it to basically brown up on us. And we're gonna get it out. All right guys, so we've been going about 65 minutes now. And I'm thinking we're about done. So when I mash on it, it's starting to feel stiffer. as I mash down. It's not as liquidy down there. Plus, you can see how it springs back. That's a telltale sign that it's done. Our crust looks pretty happy around there, and it's not too dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this good. Get it turned off. Now, it's gonna take a while for this thing to cool down before I can actually cut a slice out and show you guys. So I'm gonna have to let it rest for a few hours, and then we'll get a slice out and take a look at it. All right, so stay tuned. All right, guys, this thing's cooled down long enough. I can't wait anymore. So let me show you how when you finally chop the pecans, see how it makes this really nice crust on it. That's what I like it for. Right, let's go ahead and cut this thing open and see what we got here. Now, I did see on the bottom where the crust it broke through. So we'll see if we can get it out without sticking or not. I'm just gonna make me a good piece here. Feels like it's gonna come out really nice. There we go, came out perfect. All right, guys, so this is how I judge my success on a pecan pie cook, is when I don't need a fork, I can actually pick it up by hand. The inside filling has to be, set up pretty well for that to happen. But this is the way I like to do it. Let's go ahead and give this a try. Time to get another one of those. Let me tell you something, guys. I've made a bunch of pecan pies, and I have to say this is the best one I've ever made. Now, if you're worried about, the smoker giving it too much smoke flavor, it just has a hint of smoke, basically in the pecans itself. And I think I'm pretty sure the Silverback had better control over the heat than my actual oven inside does. So the crust is nice and flaky. The pecans are perfect. I'm super happy with this. All right, guys, that's it for our smoked pecan pie recipe. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you give it a try, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And as always, if you got any questions or comments, go ahead and put them below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And always, holler back.